Who's got the hammer?
I don't know. We'll find out.
We don't know. Okay.
So Jason, go back out. Drop my hand, start the game. You start in between after cards. And we'll rock and run out. Yep. You start between ends.
You'll tell us here.
Yeah, no. Yeah, the front pitch is
Okay.
Sentiwany has hammer.
Sentiwany hammers. Thank you. Sentiwany. I spelled it wrong.
Good evening and welcome to tonight's live coverage of TESN.US coverage of the Rochester Curling Club, the Grand National Curling Club Playdowns. I'm Kevin Twitch. I'll be calling the action this evening. Calling on Sheet C, we got a good matchup of a couple 1-0 teams, as we have Weber of Potomac. We'll be taking on Sentiwany from the Albany Curling Club. The game tonight will be a 10-end game, and just getting ready to get underway here. From the draw to the button, the hammer has gone to Sentiwany, and they will be exercising, of course, their opportunity to have the hammer. They will be throwing the red stones tonight, and Weber will be throwing the blue stones. Do a quick rundown of the teams. On Weber, we'll start with them. Their lead is Nick Smith. Their second is Gilad Kempenich. Their vice, Brian Ewart. And their skip is Calvin Weber. Over on Sentiwany, the lead is Roger Becker. Their second is Adam Weber, no relation to anybody over on the Weber rink. Their vice, Stu Howells. And their skip is Brent Sentiwany. And we're getting ready here for the first rocks to be thrown. And actually right off the bat here, I had my colors backwards. So again, Weber is going to be red stones, Sentiwany with the blue stones, and Nick Smith gets this game off and running. Again, this is the second game for these teams. They're round robin play here on the opening day of the club Playdowns. And both sweepers working hard on it, Gilad and Brian. And the stone comes to rest as a corner guard just off the left TV line. And now Roger Becker is ready for his first stone. For folks that are familiar with curling, you'll notice that the hand signal calls are opposite, as the Albany and the Schenectady curling clubs do not follow the tradition of most of the curling clubs in the U.S., and specifically in the GNCC, and have the reverse handles so that they will have the broom in the side from where they don't want the stone to curl to, whereas most clubs will have the broom on the side they're curling to. And the call here from Calvin Weber, looking for Nick to do a draw behind. These early stones here carrying very well and running a little bit straighter than he wanted. And it looks like he's going to be solidly on the blue stone. I'll try to sweep that out to replace it. Of course, here in the GNCC, we have a 5-guard free rock zone. Something new that's being done throughout the world. It used to be a 4-guard zone. increase this year to 5 to try to get more scoring, especially at the higher, more competitive levels. We got Roger Becker with his second stone. The sweeper's waiting for the call now, jump in. Skips are still learning the ice here in Rochester. And crosses this center line and comes to rest at the back of the house. I know difficult here with the blue stones on the blue circles. So right now, Sentiwany is sitting 1 as Gilad Kampanik getting ready for his first stone. Looks like a nice speed on this one. Sweepers come in to do some light sweeping initially. Back off. And that stone's running very straight. Not slowing down at all, and that one will go through the house. So now into our second stones for the seconds here in the first end. Adam Weber looking to put up a guard here. Coming down a touch fast. Both teams are commenting about how fast the ice is here in Rochester this weekend. A great job by our Rochester ice crew. That does a little tick, rolls to the side, and Calvin Weber trying to get that one out, and does, just clears the back line. Or no, actually they're saying it's still partially in, but certainly out of the house. Nothing but a trip hazard at this point. And Gilad getting ready to deliver his final stone here of the first end. Looking to get there at the top of the 4-foot. Riding right along the TV line on the left-hand side. The sweeper's back on it as it crosses the hog line. And that's going to carry through to the back of the house and possibly all the way out. And that one's through. All right, Stu Howells. I'm sorry, Adam Weber with his second stone. A bit slower than his first one. Sweepers are on. They're still being a watchful eye though from Brett Sentiwany. Is going to just clear that front guard. That stone's going to come to rest in the back of the house, but right there, solid in the 8-foot. So a very nice stone delivered there by Adam Weber. All right, so Brian Ewart. Bit of discussion going on between Brian and Calvin, and looking to try to draw to the tee line. Now changing plans. Looking to try to peel off that front guard. Bit wide initially here. Waiting for it to swing back in. It should catch a corner and peel both of them out. And it does. So nice peel of the guard there by Brian Ewart. And now Stu Howells. Looking to put that guard back up, I'm sure. And the sweeper's on it early here.
If you wish to. If you don't wish to, you've got your
There you go. In the first reading. So we're saying,
And Brian Ewert now coming in trying to do a second takeout as Stu's shot swung a little bit wide there. Lining up, this could possibly be a double, and just misses on the double opportunity. So blue still with two stones in the house. Again, tough to see, I know, on our overhead cam, but one sitting at about the 1 o'clock position and another one sitting down about 7 o'clock position. Another guard opportunity here. Right away, both sweepers jump on the stone. A bit light, and that's swinging a lot more than I think they were expecting. Just going to clear the top red guard. Man, it looked like I had a reverse there. I don't think it actually hit anything. I think it just reversed. So now a nice juicy target for the Weber rink. As Calvin comes down. Probably be trying to do a takeout and try to roll a bit to the left-hand side here. As he gets his stone ready. Very nice form. Swinging just a bit to the outside. Trying some directional sweeping now. Sweepers are off. The hit, the roll to the side, a little bit stronger than they probably wanted as that rolls all the way to the 12-foot, right on the tee line. So right now it looks like could be close to a measure here between red and blue, as red with the one at 9 o'clock, blue with the one down at 7 o'clock. And Sentiwany definitely looks like he's going to take that red stone of Weber's out here. Again, Sentiwany with the hammer here. That was based on their draws. Weber had a stone about half of it in the 4-foot circle, and Sentiwany, they drew to the full 4-foot. It wasn't quite touching the button, but it was fully in the 4-foot. Quick clean to the bottom of the stone. And his first stone here of the second game. Looking for a takeout. Single sweeper, doing the directional sweeping. It's become very popular in the GNCC. And that's right on the mark. And a nice easy roll back towards center. A little bit more again than he wanted. And it comes to rest on the back for blue stone. So blue right now sitting 3 at the moment. And the final red stone here for Weber. Discussion going on between Calvin Weber and Brian Ewert. Between these two gentlemen, 20 years of experience curling. Calvin about 12 years and Brian with 8. As they get ready for their final shot of the first end. Nice low profile on his delivery. Single sweeper. With both of them off, back on. And a strong hit there. Clears out the one blue stone. And red for the moment is sitting shot, although vulnerable. And looking for the takeout on the broom lined up just off the center line. Looking for another takeout. I talked to Brett earlier tonight, asked him about what his favorite draw was, and he said the draw to the button. He didn't really get into about how much he likes doing takeouts, so but definitely being called on here for the second takeout in the first end. Very much a control weight takeout. Swinging a little bit more than I'm thinking they were anticipating here. But he's going to definitely catch a piece of the red stone and rolls out. So 2 here in the first end for Sentiwany as they jump out to an early lead. This time. And it's very common practice here. You'll see the teams do a quick little huddle, quick discussion about the end as they get ready for the second end. All these games are on the clock, and a 1 minute allowance thinking time, they call it, between ends. So to keep the pace of the game will be very quick here. And the teams are able to see how much time they have left on their own individual clocks, similar to what you might see in a chess match. And Roger Becker here with the first shot of the second end. Looking for a center line guard. Roger's been curling for about 6 years. One of the newer members of this Sentiwany rink. They've been playing together, the rest of them, for about 4 or 5 years, but a variety of players have come in and left. Now Nick Smith for Weber, native of Columbus, Ohio. Beautiful line right now. The question is, will it slow down enough to stick around? And Brett will sweep that one right on through. So both teams again struggling maybe a little bit here in the early ends to figure out the weight on the ice. Talking to several of the competitors here, and everybody's words were fast ice. Compared to the usual league nights here, they said it was just a little bit faster. Those that are part of the Rochester clubs, they're playing over a couple of Rochester teams playing over on sheets A and B. Yeah, I'll get you some updates on those scores once I see them hung. It is now the second lead rock here for Sentiwany. The Albany representatives here this weekend at the GNCC Playdowns. And this one's going to just make it out of the house, it looks like. I don't think it's still in. Looks like it's just going to be one of those trip hazards. As Nick Smith gets ready for his second stone here in the second. Again, it looks a bit fast. The sweepers haven't jumped on it yet. Now they jump in. Calvin Weber looking for it to just tuck behind that one blue guard. It looks like that's going to come to rest back, maybe in the back 8 foot here. And that's nicely guarded. So nice stone there delivered by Nick Smith. And Brent Sentiwany asking his second Adam Weber to deliver basically the same shot. Stone starts out, looks like it might be a bit wide here. He's riding the TV line. Very, very gentle rotation of the handle. Now it's starting to swing in. Still it's got carrying some pretty good speed as it comes into the house. And that's going to do a little bit of a hit off the red and bounce the red back into the 12 foot. All right, so the call here, looking for a takeout, actually a takeout of the, maybe the double. Gilad with the release again, swinging way outside the TV line there, riding along. Now it's starting to dive in. And actually I misspoke, I thought it was going to be a takeout. But he's looking at just having it come draw in, and that's going to come up a bit light, I believe, as it's struggling to make it into the house, and that'll die just at the edge of the 12 foot. It's a biter in the front, but I think they were looking for a little bit deeper shot there. So Brett asking Adam Weber to do a draw behind on that, essentially replicating his first shot. Both sweepers on the stone as it comes down the ice here. Stones are carrying very, very well with the sweeping here so far on the opening day of the Playdowns. And that one tucks in just past solidly in the 12 foot. That'd be sitting third right now. And a bit of discussion from Calvin, looking to clear away the front blue guard. I asked Gilad what he likes for shot calls. He said he likes the light hit and rolls, typically a hack weight. This one's coming in a little bit stronger than that. That should catch the front, peel off both the shooter and the blue. As the shooter actually just rolls to the side, does stay in play. But definitely got the job done for his skip on that one. All right, now I'm going to try to draw in from the other side. We haven't seen much action down this side yet. Actually, there's the first stone coming down on this side. For the draw in, Brian Ewart. Even outside the TV lines, carrying pretty good speed. Now they're jumping on it as it's starting to really swing. A lot of action in the stones here. And that's been a theme that's been carried through so far all this season here in Rochester. And comes to rest right in the front there, kind of guarding that red stone from any kind of a promote opportunity. Although it would have been difficult anyways. And now Calvin calling for backline weight. I think he's looking to try to bump out the shot stone. He's got him on sweeping early, but that stone's taking a big swing. It's going to be really tight to those front guards. And just clears. Very nice stone there. And the shot stone is swept to the back of the 12. Was still in play. But for the moment, red now is sitting 2. So definitely a nice stone there from Brian Ewart. Looking for the hit and roll now from Stu Howells. Again, the reverse handles here that the Albany and Schenectady teams like to use. Single sweeper initially. Adam Weber on it. And he's holding the line right where I think they're looking for. A hit, a little roll to the inside. Calvin Weber trying to get that stone out, and that's going to go to rest over with the other one that was just relocated. So blue right now with 4 stones, it looks like in the house, but being out counted by one of the 2 red stones. Discussion of where to come in, calling for the top of the 4-foot. Brian Ewart, his 2nd stone of the end. Waiting for that swing to develop. Still running pretty straight. Still carrying a lot of weight here too. And that may come down on top of the other red stone. It does, just a little bit of a kiss there. And looks like red right now is sitting, well, tough to tell. It might be sitting 1 still. Stone at the top of the house there on the center line for blue. They're not too concerned about right now. The discussion is whether to try to draw in or to go for the double take out of the red. And it looks like the call is going to be to draw into the red. As we're into the first blue skipstone. Brent Sentiwany, native of Ballston Spa, just outside of Albany. Hometown boy playing for the Albany Curling Club. Stone's underway, 1 single sweeper on it, Adam Weber. Trying some directional sweeping. Both sweepers called off. Still at the ready. And now they're jumping back on it as this stone is diving fast and slowing down pretty hard on them here as well. And it comes to rest just on the tee line. Bit of a bite of the button there. But sitting, I think, still pretty vulnerable for the Potomac rink. As Brett came down the ice, a bit of a eyebrow raise as he saw where it came to rest. And Calvin Weber, full-time student, going for his MBA from Georgetown University, home of the Hoyas. Gets ready for his first shot here in the second end. Wayward stone coming from the side, quickly corralled. This is the first time this team has curled together, although between them many years of curling experience. Stone's coming down. Sweepers are off it for right now, waiting for the line to develop. Now it starts to swing. Brian getting ready. And it comes in and just kisses the blue stone. And they're sitting 1, but again, it's out there in an exposed area. So Brent Sentiwany getting ready for his final stone here. Red has hammer, the Calvin Weber rink. This is Brent's second play down. Actually, for everybody on this team, this is their second play down for Albany. Although they get out and Bonspiel 3 to 4 times a year. So they do have a lot of experience playing with each other and playing around out on different clubs around the GNCC. All right, his shot's underway here. Line looks pretty good. Now we have Adam jumping in, quickly called off. Big swing coming in. And the hit is a nose hit, so no roll. So blue for the moment, sitting a solid 2. And Weber looking to come up with an answer here. They're down right now, 2 by 2. The best I can see that they can come out of this would be 1. Very tough for them to get 2. There is an opportunity there, but it'd be a tough one to pull off. I think 1 is the realistic outcome here for them. And for Calvin Weber, this is his 10th kind of play down Bonspiel. Or play down, I should say. A lot of different levels, both at junior level and mixed play downs. A lot of curling experience in pressure situations, and going for a takeout here. Gilad with the early sweeping on it. Now Nick Smith jumps in and joins him. Brian calls them both off. Nick back on for a moment. There's a single hit, and it's a tough call from this angle. Right now it looks like 1 blue, but the vice is out there to take a look. A little bit of shoulder shrugs going on. This might come down to a measure. All right, so they got a measure called here. First measure of the game. It's just a measure between 2 stones. Oh. And an accidental kick of the stone is always a dangerous thing. People not paying attention. So red will take the point on that. Miscommunication there. So bit of a mental mistake. So Weber on the board now. Sentiwany will have a 2-1 lead. Quick update on the scores from around the sheets. Over on sheet D, right next door, Simia out of Nutmeg holds a 2-0 lead as they're just starting into the 3rd end. They're playing Messing out of Schenectady. Earlier today, Simia won their opening game. Messing came up a bit short in theirs. Over on sheet A, one of the 2 Rochester clubs in action. And right now, from my angle, it looks like Rochester had a 2-0 lead in the first end. Second end hasn't been hung yet. That's I'm sorry, Schenectady has a 2-0 lead over Rochester Calabrese. It's War out of Schenectady. Both teams again coming in with a 1-1 record. And then over on sheet B, it looks like the first end was a blank, and then the second end Rochester took 1, and that is Andrews out of Rochester over Guzman out of Broomstones. And again, let me quickly correct myself. It's the other way around. Guzman has the 1-0 lead. So Rochester down right now on both sheets A and B. We'll get them straightened out here as we get underway with the third end here on sheet C. As Roger Becker loads the first stone, typically called for a guard. And their sweepers working on this one. Nick Smith already has a stone in the back of the house, or back of the button. And now Nick Smith's second stone here in the third end. Nick Smith, a native of Columbus, Ohio, been playing for 9 years. And Gilad jumps on now. Brian jumps in with him as they're trying to put up a nice guard here of that first stone that Nick had. And a center line guard, not quite protecting that stone in the back. And Brett Sentiwany looking for the takeout from his lead, Roger Becker. Roger, a native of Ravenna, New York, just south of Albany. And watching that line, now both sweepers coming in trying to hold that line as that stone is swinging a ton. And that'll come over and bump into the guard. Peeled away. I don't think it's going to go out of play, so the free guard zone violation doesn't really come into play there. You can relocate an opponent's stone as long as you don't take it out of play in the first 5 stones of each end. Of course, you can relocate or take your own stone out of play. And Gilad, Rockville, Maryland native, just outside of DC, getting ready for his first stone here in the third end. Looking to put another guard back up there, protect that stone in the back of the button. It's a nice stone. They're going to put a lot of effort into protecting it. Both sweepers working on it hard, getting it over the hog line. And that'll swing right back to the center line. It's going to be a high guard. Comes in, sitting in about zone number 2 for those that know the zone in a curling sheet. And quickly a call to take out that guard that was just put there for Adam Weber. And he says this is what he really loves, is takeouts, especially guards. So this is right in his wheelhouse of called shots. And single sweeper working on that one hard. It's going to just catch the edge, or it's going to just miss. It's going to be close. And it just misses. So Adam a bit frustrated with himself on that one. And the call for Gilad is another stone a little bit closer to the house from his first one. Try to put up a little bit more protection and get a little bit more scoring opportunities here for Red and the Weber rink. Stone just a bit on the outside there, waiting for the swing to develop. And there's a blue guard out there that's going to be part of this equation, I think. Just hits it, but gets a nice roll back to the inside, so fortuitous outcome. Not quite as, not the scoring stone they were looking for, but another one helping to protect the draw to the center. And another call for takeout here on the Sentiwany rink. And Adam with another opportunity for a takeout. Nice control weight takeout. Right now it looks like the second time It's going to be a repeat of the first. Going to just catch the edge this time. So it does get the job done. Nice peel. Neither the shooter nor the target stick around. And now we're over to Brian Ewart. Looking to put Stone back up on that right-hand side. Very nice straight line delivery. Swing is starting now. The question is, can they get it around their own guard? And it starts to dive real hard. And that's just going to come up and nose their guard back. Not quite enough to get into the house, but provides a little bit more protection there on that left-hand side coming into the house. As the Albany skip now looking at the opportunities and looking for a takeout here. Makes sense. We're still got 3 more blue stones after this one. And the takeout coming down. Gonna again catch the edge much like Adam's second shot. Peels away the shooter and the target. So again, mission accomplished. And now we're into second vice stones here for the Weber rink. Nice controlled release. Both sweepers are working on it as they're coming up towards the hog line. And going to clear the guard. This one's should make it just into the house, maybe all the way up to the 8-foot. Gilad still working on it hard and just comes in and bites on the 8-foot. That's a nicely placed stone. At this point, Blue's going to have to start peeling off those guards more than just one at a time. And it looks like that's going to be the call as a nose hit double takeout.
You're right. I guess all was not well. So that was whatever time that was. So what do I do now?
All right, a sweep on the blue takeout. And the off nose hit doesn't quite clear out both.
At the end, and we'll to do some corrections.
Okay.
So blue wasn't running.
Blue was not running.
Shouldn't have been.
Yep.
Right. So we need to add some more time.
And now we're getting into first skip stones. Calvin Weber. So Madison, Wisconsin native.
Okay.
So we'll see.
Went to college in Madison, Wisconsin for his undergrad. Again, a full-time Georgetown MBA student at the moment. And looking to put up another guard, protect those red stones. Because right now he's sitting 3. As we're getting into the first skip stones. Very slow release. Gilad calling the speed. Both sweepers working on the stone as they bring it in, right back on. A nice guard on top of zone 2 on the center line. And Blue looking for an opportunity to come in and start removing some of these red stones. And some discussion still going on about whether they can do a takeout of the red, roll to the side. And that's going to be the call. Try to do the crossover, sneak in along down the TV line. hit out the red stone that's at 6 o'clock, and then do a little bit of a rollover towards the 7 o'clock position. So Prince Sentiwany, again, 17 years of curling. He's been in this situation before. He was thinking that, one of the strengths of the team is if they can get into a draw game, that they can, that's where he felt they could excel. This is a fairly new team that they're facing for each of them. Never played each other before, not really sure what the other strategies were going to be coming into it. So now calling for the sweepers, get called back off. Be real close to that top guard. And just kisses the top guard, just a little too close. A bit of a promote for blue, but nothing of any real consequences. Red now is still sitting 3 as they're down to their final stone here in the third end. Calvin trying to come up with a good strategy. This is his first time playing here in Rochester, and what he said he really liked about the stones here and the ice here in Rochester is it's good fast ice and good rocks. A lot of action in the house, so very happy with the prep job the Rochester ice crew did for the sheets of ice this week, and also with our rock prep that started way back over the summer as we flipped the stones and resurfaced them. Been very, very lively stones here at Rochester in league play so far this year, and we're seeing quite a bit of it here tonight. All right, Calvin's final shot here in the third end. He's swinging out wide, tough to see on at home, but all the way over by the Canadian flag that we have between sheets C and D here in Rochester. And now it's starting to swing back in. Gilad and Nick both sweeping hard, trying to bring it back to that center line. And just up to the center line. Nice guard. It's going to be a tough one for Brett to come in and take out. So they're looking at another option here, which is maybe to go after a draw or maybe the hit and roll. I'm not sure what the discussion is. But definitely trying to get a blue stone into that 4-foot. Again, that stone that's sitting shot there in the back of the button, that was Nick Smith delivering that with his first stone of the end. And it's held court the whole time. All right, so here we go. Hammer shot in the third end. Quick clean of the stone by the skip. And now the delivery. Nice clean release. And the blue stone looking for the dive in. He's not looking to try to do any kind of a hit and roll. Both sweepers still on it. And that's going to come down. It's certainly going to outcount 2 of the red stones. And going to come up just shy. So only 1 red here. Red with the steal. And we have ourselves a 2-2 game at the end of 3. It was tough for blue to give that up. But nice recovery as he cuts the red end from being a 3-point end to just a 1-point end. And blue with that also continues to hold hammer. So
I was doing good until you showed up.
See, that's where I start to question. I just happen to be spot checking, and why is it running?
So Nick Smith getting ready here with the first stone in the 4th end. Remember, we'll have a break in the 5th end. or after the 5th end, I should say. And the first one here in the 4th end. Looking for a center line guard. Looks a little bit light. He's calling for it to be down in zone 1, maybe zone top of, or I'm sorry, he might be down in zone 3. This is going to come up in zone 1 if it even makes it. And came up a little bit short. So our first hog stone of the evening. This was in the league play. It would be a 25-cent donation to the Hog Line Fund. But in GNC Playdowns, there's no penalty for hogging a stone other than your stone goes out of play. All right, so now blue with their first stone. Roger Becker looking for a corner guard here. A little bit more speed than Nick had on his stone. Sweepers are getting ready to jump in now. They get quickly called off. There's two sweepers between them. They have about 15 years of experience. And a nice corner guard that's sitting up on the TV line. As Nick Smith gets ready for his second shot here in the 4th end. Again, the first one was hogs. Putting a little bit more on this one. The stone's coming down, riding just on the edge of the TV line. On the right-hand side now, starting its big swing towards the center line. Nice action side to side here this weekend. And the stone comes all the way back to the center line and comes in all the way just shy of biting the 4-foot, solid 8-foot stone. Again, with the free guard zone, stones in the house are not protected by that, so stone's eligible for a takeout. Roger Becker getting ready, using those bright yellow weightlifting shoes. He converted over to curling shoes. Hard to miss out there on the ice. Stone right now, though, is hanging out wide, riding along the right-hand TV line, and that's going to sail past the intended target and through the house. I know his wife, Ira, she's at home watching the broadcast. I want to make sure I mentioned that, and also their 5th, Mike Peterson, and he's tuning in as well. They're thinking about you as well earlier this evening. All right, Gilad now for Potomac, his first stone in the 4th end. Again, this is his first Playdowns. Really excited about it. And this stone's going to come up right alongside of Nick's second stone, so an opportunity here for Albany for a double takeout. And Adam Weber in there again. That's what he likes. He likes takeouts. Although he said he liked them to be guards, but in this case, a couple stones in the house, he won't be too fussy about taking them out. And the Colgate Red Raider. Stone's on its way. Starting to swing a little bit early on here. They're trying to hold the line. Going a little faster than I think they might be looking for. Catches the front stone but misses the second stone. So just a single takeout. And Gilad looking to put another guard right back up there and protect that stone. And coming in with a similar line to his previous shot. Single sweeper on it. Just a light clean right now. looking to get it into the top of zone 3. Now they're working on it as it starts to bite in and crosses the hog line. And it comes to rest just to the edge of the center line. And a pretty good protector of that stone. And Brent Sentiwany right away comes in, makes a decision. Let's take that out coming from the other direction. And Adam getting called on here for the takeout. And this one's going to split the uprights, come right in, and mission accomplished here. Although the shooter's going to roll to the side, I think it's going to hang around at the edge of the 12, and it does. Comes to a quick stop. May have picked up a little something there on the ice. But right in the middle of the 12-foot. And that becomes the object of Skip Calvin Weber's attention. Calling for the takeout here by his vice, Brian Ewart. Tough from this angle, but one sweeper, so the line a little bit in jeopardy here. And he'll catch that with the roll. Question is how much of a roll? And that's going to cross all the way over to the TV line on the right-hand side. So zone's sitting pretty well exposed as Stu Howell's getting ready for his first shot here in the fourth end. Stu's the Iceman up in Albany, one of them. And he said he likes to do the draw to the button, so not really a fan of the takeout. And it looks like that's what they're going to do, is they're going to go for a draw here, use that redstone as a backer. Carefully watching the line, running straight right now. Now it's starting to develop a bit of a swing. Going to be close on the front guard, gets by that. And actually swung enough where the backer didn't come into play, which is too bad because they could have used it a little bit too much on that. Again, fast ice here in Rochester. Team's having a tough time adjusting. But again, here the game between Potomac rink and an Albany rink, neither of them have the home ice advantage that the Rochester rinks have over on sheets A and B. Although I don't know how much of a Rochester advantage Mark Andrews is feeling at the moment, as big third end was scored by Guzman out of Broomstones as they took 6 that end, and Rochester down over there right now 7-0 as they're just about the same spot here in the fourth end. Nice stone here from Brian Ewart, as that's going to come in right to the 4-foot, right on the tee line, and or just shy of the tee line. So very, very nice stone, celebrating that. And Brian's got a lot of experience too. Like I said, 8 years he's been playing. He started out in Plainfield, New Jersey, came over to DC for a few years, and then spent a year out in Arizona curling at the Coyotes, and now 3 years back in DC. So he's got a little bit of experience seeing some different ice around the country. And Stu Howell's second shot here in the fourth. Sweepers have been called off on this one. The way it's coming in, he may catch a piece of the front one, and he does. He'll spill out both the shooter and the target, leaving just one red in the house. As we're coming down to coming up on skip stones here. And the first skip stone for Calvin Weber. Got into the sport based on a friend of his from high school. Told him about it and quickly became a fan of it. He said that the key in this game tonight was going to be the front ends setting up the ends, and so far he's been doing pretty good here. And nice Nice straight running stone right now. Just before it gets to the hog line, starts that big swing. And now the question is, how far can they take it? Both sweepers working on it hard. They'll be able to bring it in at least to the 8 foot, maybe to the 4, and all the way into the 4 solidly. So basically replace the stone that was just taken out. Little congratulatories from the sweepers for their efforts. Now back over to Albany to try to do the takeouts. Now if Stu Howell's vice, he felt that the key to the game is going to be good communication. And just looking for an overall balanced game here tonight. He hasn't been real familiar with this Rochester ice. The last time he was here was about 2 years ago, February of 2016. A lot of changes. A lot of changes here in the Rochester Curling Club since then. Both the warm room and our ice makers. A lot of new techniques. Really put in a lot of good efforts.
I don't have to be here.
How could you miss it?
And working on where they want the broom lined up for the target. Still a bit of discussion going on.
Watching us practice, and you have to bring out the practice. Come on. Boss us around.
We're going to be doing it with our eyes closed.
I know, right?
And stone on the way. Nice spin on that. But it's starting to dive early here. They're going to have a tough time getting by the front guard. Now they've backed off and they're going to just send that front guard through.
That was good.
Hopefully roll theirs to the side, but not enough roll. And the other redstone actually didn't make it out. It comes to rest in the back of the 8 foot. So red right now is sitting 3. And I can see a bit of frustration in the eyes of Brett. Things not going quite the way they were hoping here in the early ends. And we've got the final stone for the Weber rink. Come in, try to protect that lane to the center. In the previous game today, they felt that they had a few lucky breaks in the second end and the second half, and they came back. But right now, even though a tight game, controlling this end. So that stone is coming in, nice line on it. Should be just whisker touch on the guard up front, and a nice roll. So good end result, and it spins just enough to get it be a biter. So right now sitting 4. Quick huddle by the Weber rink over by the hog line. As there's the discussion going on for the blue. Again, his favorite, he said, is draw to the button, but this might be a little bit more of a task with the swinging ice. Not a real good lane to come into. Still working the right-hand side of the house. I haven't put anything in from the left-hand side, where all the action has been on the right-hand side this end, or center line.
I know.
All right, so gives a quick clean of the stone. Looks like it's right on line. Sometimes you get some strange anomalies in the ice coming out that far. They're well off the TV line, cutting across the Canadian flag, now coming in over the hog line, right through the TESN.US logo, and trying to draw it in. Certainly going to outscore the one stone, but that's it. I should have scored 2 stones. So it looks like 2 red here. So now Weber, looks like they've gone up 4-2 with the 2 points there. As we completed 4 ends here in the opening rounds of the GNCC Playdowns. Coming to you live from the Rochester Curling Club in Rochester, New York. Again, the teams get a minute of thinking time between ends. And for red, certainly taking their times here. And calling for a center line guard, no surprise. Nick Smith getting ready. Nick, another one of the ice techs here this weekend. Thought that the ice was in the stones a little bit more active than they are out at Potomac. Similar to the competitive ice that they have, though, in Potomac. Beautiful curling club. I had a chance to get down there a couple of times. And a nice draw here from Nick as he places it just off the center line. And down to about the 2nd to 3rd zone. And Brett Sentiwany, looking to get a little aggressive here. Calling for the corner guard. Needs to get some stones in play, get some offense going. As he's given up 3 now on steals between the 3rd and the 4th ends. And Roger comes out. Everybody's checking their stopwatches, trying to get a feel for the times here still. And sweeping in. Trying to hold it on the TV line. It looks like it's going to go just to the right. Just about the same distance as Nick Smith's shot. So Nick in the house now. A patent examiner specializing in electrochemistry. Working down there in the DC area, of course. And again with the 5-stone free guard zone. Staying away from that blue stone and looking to draw in behind his first guard. He had the stone that came into the back of the button and held up earlier. And this one a little bit heavier. It goes all the way back to the 8-foot. Just still biting a little bit of the 4. And pretty well protected, but Brent Sentiwany saying to Roger Becker, monkey see, monkey do, let's follow him right in there. As the red stone is sitting behind the tee line. And Roger following suit here. A little bit lighter, I think, as both of his sweepers jump on it early. Stone's following the same line for sure, though. However, they're going to need to keep sweeping it to get the distance. And that'll come up a bit short as it makes it into the house, but just into the 12-foot, really. It doesn't quite make it to the 8. So again, hard to see on the computer there at home, but right on the center line, just in the middle of the 12-foot, and maybe a moot point to describe where it is because Gilad has been given the green light to take it out. Again, he likes those light hit and rolls. That's his specialty, the hack weight ones, and this looks like that's about what he's delivering. Holding the line, although it's starting to swing a bit more than they might want. It's coming perilously close to that front guard. Just squeaks by. And an unfortunate jam on the back, so blue now is sitting shot. As they have one in the 8-foot in the back of the house. And Adam Weber looks to try to give a little protection on that. Quick wave off. Nope. Now they're calling for The draw behind of the guard to the right-hand side. And a nice release, nice gentle glide on this stone. Doesn't look too fast. Sweepers are jumping on it though right away. Thinking it's going to come up a bit light. Actually, it's going to come up on that guard. Doesn't quite make it past. And rolls over to be on the center line. And maybe a bit of a lane opened up now for red to come down and sit on that back blue. They're calling for the front of the 4 foot and use that as a backer if it's a little bit heavy. Gilad getting ready with his second shot here of the 5th end. I know his dad Enrique is watching, and he said his brother might be tuning in as well. Both sweepers are working on it as the line from my angle looks pretty good right now. The question is of speed. And as it comes into play on the overhead, that's got 4 foot written all over it and right to the button. So very nice stone from Gilad. And now Adam Weber getting ready with his second shot. Brett coming out to take a look, get a little different angle on the view. Calling for a higher weight takeout here. Try to clear up some of that mess in the front. As they all have hammered this end, you always have a clear shot to the button. Adam's shot, sweepers are running behind it. They're trying to keep up to it. And he's just going to catch a piece of his own stone up in the front. Clears that out. And both stone and target get out of the out of play. As we go over to Brian Ewart. I asked him what got Brian into the curling. He said he saw it in the Olympics. He saw Schuster lose and he thought, I can do better than that. So now he tried curling and found out that he hasn't quite been able to have the chance to do better than Schuster. Big swing on the outside. Sweepers are helping him carry the weight in, and that's going to come to rest just on the inside of the TV line. And a nice guard for the path to the center. So I'm thinking another takeout here from blue in the Albany rink. And that's what he's calling for, is try to blow up and clear that path up in the front. Expecting a high weight takeout here from Stu Howells. And right away, single sweeper jumping on, trying to direct the line. And this is going to move some stones around as he does a double takeout of the red in the front, opens up the lane, and rolls the shooter to the side as well. So a nice stone delivery there from Stu Howells, former UB Bull. And now back over to Brian Ewart. He'll try to put that guard right back up. Sweepers on it, trying to get the right side-to-side position. Probably don't care as much here about depth, but looking to protect that stone sitting on the button. And the swings in. Provides some protection, but there's certainly an open lane on the right-hand side with the swing that we've been seeing here tonight with the stones. Bit of discussion between the skip, Brent Sentiwany and Stu. And I'll go for the takeout. Line's looking good. Try to come in and just either catch a piece of that front guard, which is what they'll do. And once again opens up the path to the shot rock on the button. And we're into the first skip stones here. Again, this is the fifth end. At the completion of this end, there'll be a break for both teams. And Calvin Weber down with the hacker now, cleaning the stone. Also enjoys, besides curling, soccer. Again, looking to put up a guard here, protect that center stone. Very vulnerable right now on the button, but a nice guard can change all that. Coming down the TV line, gets the hog line and takes a nice swing.
Which one?
Oh, sorry.
And gets a little bit of a rub, but again, not protecting too much. A little bit more swing than they were looking for.
He's so like his brother.
Oh no, his brother would actually not look away from the curling.
And we've got first blue
Maybe his current
skip
holding.
stones for Sentiwany. His summer sport of choice is baseball.
Yeah, there's some.
When the curling season wraps up.
Oh, nice. I don't think he's still counting.
We still have one.
Yeah.
Got into curling because of some friends of his parents back in Schenectady. They're members of the curling club there. Tried it. Like many of us, got hooked right away. Now looking for a shot here, getting the stone out on the button. Sweepers on it. Trying to hold the line. It's going to be real close getting by the top guards, but it clears. Comes in and takes out the red, does not jam, and rolls to the side. So a pretty good result as blue now is sitting 2.
I don't think so.
Again, they're down 2. 4-2 here in the fifth end. And red with their final stone.
I like the
And so
jump.
it looks like they're going to try to draw in on the blue shot rock.
Pretty normal.
God, it's floating there.
Well, good. He likes the fast action that we're seeing here out of our stones in Rochester. And now delivers his final stone of the fifth end. So he's looking to do more than just sit on it as he takes out the blue stone. So blue sitting 1, again, hard to see at home, I'm sure, but over at about the 2 o'clock, 2:30 position to the right-hand side in the 12-foot. And now for Brent Sentiwany, just draw to the button. This is his favorite shot, he says. So the former Geneseo collegian will have the final shot here of the first half of tonight's game. Again, we got the mid-game break coming up. The stone is on its way. Both sweepers are working on it as they cross the Canadian flag. Still both sweepers on it as they cross the hog line. Now all three on it. Because all they really need to do is just bite the 12-foot and they get it there. So 2 points for blue. And we hit the midway point with a 4-4 tie between the Sentiwany rink of Albany and the Weber rink of Potomac. So we're going to take a 5-minute break here. Both teams will step off the ice to grab some snacks, have a quick discussion, and we'll be back in a few minutes. You're listening to GNCC Playdowns, coming to you live from the Rochester Curling Club in Rochester, New York.
Swaggle hot dogs. By what? The clock starts. Okay. If it takes you guys the entire 1 minute, 5 minutes to clear the room, that's your choice.
All right, welcome back to live coverage here in TESN.US from Rochester, New York Curling Club as we're covering the GNCC Playdowns. I'm Kevin Twitchell, calling the action here on Sheet C as we're just starting the sixth end between the Sentiwany rink out of Albany, New York with the Blue Stones as they put their first stone in the back of the house. And they're playing the red team, which is Weber out of Potomac. And Nick Smith just getting ready to deliver his first stone of the sixth end. Quick update on scores from around here on the other sheets. We have over on sheet D, tight game between Simnia out of Nutmeg as they have a 3-2 lead after 5 ends over Messing out of Schenectady. Over on sheet A, it's Schenectady's War Rink up 5-2 over Calabrese out of Rochester. Again, that one is also just starting the sixth end. And over on sheet B, Guzman out of Broomstones, they've already shook on that one. They win 10-0 over Andrews of Rochester. So that one is complete. Guzman moves on to a 2-0 record, and Andrews falls to 0-2. And again, here on sheet C, battle of 1-0 teams. As again, tied going into the sixth end with the second blue stone of Roger Becker. Following down, it looks like it's also going to go right on top of his previous shot, sitting in the back of the house. So blue right now sitting 2, but again, we're early in the sixth end. Didn't have a chance to speak with either team during the break. They stayed out on the ice. A lot of teams opting to do that. That way they don't come into the warm room, start to get warm, and immediately have to go back out into the cooler temperatures of the ice shed. Stay out there. They're used to the temperatures, and they don't want to change things. As Nick Smith's second shot coming down on top of where the Blue Stones are. Swinging a bit more here at the end as they're trying to keep it in the house, and it comes to rest in the back 8, just being outcounted by the Blue Stone. As we head into seconds here, and Adam Weber getting ready for his first stone of the sixth end. Adam spends his day as a staff manager for a law firm over in the Albany area. Girls in a couple leagues during the week. And both sweepers working the sweeping here. Roger Becker and Stu Howells, as they'll bring that Adam Weber shot right to the button, almost perfectly centered, but certainly sitting very vulnerable for Gilad Kempenik. As Calvin Weber contemplating the opportunities and calls for the takeout, just bump it back. As already the house is getting pretty crowded here. 5 stones thrown and 4 of them are in the house. Gilad, I should mention, a programmer with the U.S. Census Bureau. This one coming in a little bit wide, a little bit fast. Waiting for the swing to develop. And Gilad shaking his head. He knows he put this one out a little further than he wanted to. And it rolls out of play. Adam Weber getting ready for his second shot here in the sixth end. graduate of Colgate University, a Red Raider. Grew up in Malone, New York, up in the North Country, near the Canadian border. And Roger Becker with the sweeping, trying to get that line to develop. Swinging in beautiful, right back to the center line. And that's going to come to rest just shy of making it to the 4-foot. So very, very nice stone. Right now it's sitting second. But again, without much guards up front, very vulnerable to Gilad and his second stone of the end. He overcompensated, a little bit narrow this time. He's going to have a tough time getting by their front guard. Just clears and catches the front stone, takes it out, but thought that he had a shot at getting the shot stone on the button. But nonetheless, clears away the guard. Not a bad result for the Weber rink. All right, Sentiwany now getting ready for their first vice stone. Robert Howells goes by Stu, though. Sweepers watching it, not jumping at it yet, waiting for a call from their skip. Now Roger Becker, he comes in, sweeps for a little bit, called back off, and beautiful stone comes to rest just shy of the 8-foot and just to the edge of the center line. And now Brian Ewart's first shot here of the second half of the game. Takeout, no surprise there, as they're trying to keep that path to the button clear. And hit and roll. Peels off the shooter and the target. And it seems to be a common theme. Put a guard up, peel it off. Waiting for one side to miss. Stu's second shot.
Yeah, it's like an episode of Pickles one.
A little bit of a brush from Adam Weber. The stone's coming in very nice now. Roger Becker in. Just a bit of a wider swing maybe than they were looking for, but not a bad guard.
There's it's kind of an older style kitchen.
And no surprise, call for the takeout to Brian Ewart.
One little cupboard with the usable dishes. Yeah, I do. Literally.
Nice looking stone.
There's it's like a bare club tub.
And catches the edge, and same thing again. Peel. So we're back to where we were 2 stones ago again. Getting into the first skip stones here of the 6th end. Brett getting ready.
Yeah, you get a good continue.
In native out of Ballston Spa, over there in the Cap District area.
Yeah, I don't know.
Said a couple years ago when they came in that they were seeded last of all the teams, and surprised a lot of people. We're 2-3, had won a playoff game, got into a tiebreaker game, and got into the playoffs. So looking for that same kind of success here this weekend. And started out pretty good as they won their first game. Now in a tight battle here in the second game. Sitting shot in the 6th end. And the first red skip stone coming up. A bit of discussion going on between Calvin and Brian. And that's one of the things that Brian Ewart really likes about playing the vice position, is the opportunity to talk the strategy with the skip. Make sure they're both on the same page.
This is definitely much more like a museum kind of house. I think it's like someone saving this house.
He said that the real key to them in tonight's game was to stay focused. That was something that they thought was a big part of their win earlier today. That they kept their heads on right, and they were down early, but stayed on track. Had some lucky breaks and came with a win earlier today. Certainly looking for another win here on the nightcap. All right, Nick Smith in, sweeping hard. And a little bit of a different look now as they clear away their own guard. Up front, changes a little bit of the path line. And now Blue looking to respond by putting up another guard. Blue's final stone here of the 6th end.
When I was looking at
Brett takes another look back to see where the broom's being held. Again, protecting that stone, sitting right on the button.
It'll bring us closer together as a team.
Stone's been sitting there for a little while. So if I remember correctly, that was their number 1 stone. And the final chance for Blue here to protect it. Stone is on its way. Sweeper is waiting for instructions. Both jumped in for a moment. Now just Roger sweeping. Now Adam comes in to join him. Looking to clear that front guard. It's going to be tight, but they get by it. Off and right up to the shot stone. So very difficult here for Red to be able to clear out both cells, as there is some separation between them, but only a matter of maybe an inch or two. Bit of discussion here on the Weber side.
I have no idea.
You're the first one there.
They don't even have a real picture of the house, I would say. It's a drawing of the building.
Well, no, it's pretty funny. One of the first things is
Still looking at the different options. Question is, how heavy can you come in? You want to be able to move the blue stones and then be able to stick around. Giving up a single point here to Blue wouldn't be the end of the world. Wouldn't be a bad situation. But you certainly don't want to give up 2. And so far, looking at the scoreboard, it's been 2 points has been the name of the game. Because 3 of the ends have been 2-point ends, and the other 2 were single points.
this is probably early, very early 1900s.
Decision is made. You can see the teams looking at the monitors that are up on the side, trying to understand where they're expecting the rolls to go and where things need to clear. It was a great addition here a few years ago with the Rochester Curling Club, getting the monitors out on the ice, and special thanks to TESN.US for being a big part of the reason that they're here.
Well, I think I drove through there on my way to Seattle.
All right, here we go. Hammer shot, 6th end. It's on its way. And it looks like it's going to be a little bit narrow. They're going to wreck on that top guard, maybe be able to promote that in. And it's coming in, but it's going to miss everything. So 2-point end, a steal for Blue for the Albany rink of Sentiwany. And they take a 6-4 lead here through 6 ends of play.
But there's a lot of great brewers in town, like every town. But this is kind of nowhere.
Again, here with the GNCC Playdowns, teams, if they do find themselves significantly behind in a match, can concede. We had that a little bit earlier over on sheet B, but being down 6-4 in a 10-end game through 6 ends, certainly neither side is going to be expecting a concession at this point. And still waiting for the updates here on the other sheets. Over on sheet A, they've started the 7th end, and over on sheet D, they're still in the last later stones of the 6th end, so hope to have an update from over there in a few minutes as well. Right now, looking at sheet D, it looks like Simia out of Nutmeg, the Connecticut team, they're up right now 3-2, and it looks like they're sitting 2 in the house as Blue, which is Messing out of Schenectady, they have their final stone coming in. And from my vantage point, it looks like that's going to be a nice draw right to the button. So right now my expectation is we may have a tie game after 6 over on sheet D, but updates forthcoming over there. Back to the action here on sheet C is Nick Smith. He's got his first stone of the 7th end. Trying to draw around the Roger Becker guard just off the center line, but Nick with a little bit too much on that one. That's going to sail to the back of the house, and looks like it's going to be swept all the way to the edge of the 12-foot by Calvin Weber, or I'm sorry, by Brent Sentiwany. So Red with the first stone in the house here in the 7th end, as Roger Becker gets ready to deliver his second stone. The graduate from SUNY IT, now known as SUNY Poly, over in Utica, New York. And a fairly light stone. Quickly, Stu Howell's on it for sweeping. And now Adam Weber jumps in. This is going to end up probably in zone 2 or 3 in the guards. I don't think they can bring that one into the house. If they do, it's going to be a real heck of a job on the sweeping. And now it comes to rest just outside of the house, so still protected in the free guard zone rules. So not a bad stone by any stretch of the mind.
Wonderful parking lot, holy cow.
It's kind of a shame.
And Nick Smith now with his second stone.
We have problems with cross the teams transactions.
Looking to do a draw around on the right-hand side.
And it's starting to get a little better. Across the street, you can buy your marijuana.
And it's going to come in and bite a little harder, a little lighter than I think they were looking for, because that'll just bounce off one of the front guards. And over here on sheet D, an excellent final shot by the Simia rink, and they come away with one. Messing was sitting, from Schenectady, was sitting on the button, and they came in and they outdrew him on the button. I believe there was 3 stones actually biting it, and Simia now through 6 is up 4-2. Over on sheet A, an update over there as well, is War out of Schenectady. They're sitting on top of Calabrese out of Rochester, as it's 6-2 through 6 over there as well. So, and again over on sheet B, Broomstones, Guzman took Andrews earlier. And again, Ben Guzman and that team up 2-0 here in the standings, leading the way right now. As the Albany rink are now biting on the side of the 4-foot. And Gilad coming in to do a little takeout through the 5 stones. So free guard zone no longer in effect for this end. And a nice high weight takeout. Does a double, does a triple. So beautiful shot there by Gilad. That's one that his dad and brother may want to mark the time on the YouTube. We'll be able to go back and show him that one. That was a beautiful shot as he cleared out not only the guards but the shooter and left two of his own stones in play. There's one blue stone on the far left-hand side, really not a factor, so great shot by Gilad. Adam Weber now. He's going to try to draw something in front here. Get blue back into the swing of things in the house here in the 7th end. Just clears front guard. I'll come to rest in the back of the house right along the border between the 4-foot and the 8-foot. Very nice stone. And after that takeout now, asking Gilad to roll it down and monkey see, monkey do, follow right in to Adam's shot there. Always tough to go from a takeout down to a draw.
That's a whole new thing.
But after playing for 17 years, this is nothing new to Gilad.
The trick is you gotta stay in the A. The A is good.
So you have to play every other
Yeah. As soon as you drop into the T, you're in trouble. Oh yeah, I mean, it's every 2 hours. Like there's literally not enough time to cut the
And that swings right in, comes in. It's going to bump the blue stone back a little bit. So he rolls right to the center. No protection there from guards, but still a beautiful shot by Gilad. And his red with 2 in the house, sitting 1.
This one year I was
And Stu Howells now, getting ready for his first shot of the 7th end.
I went to CC for 4 days.
Got hooked on curling from some coworkers, and right off the bat knew this is the sport he loved, and right now loving this opportunity to do a takeout up front. Adam Weber sweeping hard. This is going to catch just enough of the front guard and peel out of play, but nonetheless opens the house wide open as there's no guards at all in front.
I left my keys.
And Brian Ewert,
Opened the beer, left the keys right there.
Villanova Wildcat.
Took Britt back last year.
Again, his first play down here in Rochester.
You guys are drinking too much. This isn't even fun.
And a little bit high on the speed, but looking for a takeout of the blue so that only red will be in the house. And just catches it, but takes out one of his own stones. So red now sitting 2. And an opportunity for blue not only to take out the shot rock, but maybe do a double and clear the house for themselves. And the one, of course, getting the call would be Stu Howells.
I'm in charge of membership of Brimstones, and literally my job is telling 200...
Buffalo Sabres fan, plays hockey, typically forward as well. Not for the Sabres, of course. And right away, Adam Weber on for the sweeping duties, trying to hold that line. And he catches the front one. That'll be a peel. Does not get the double. Bit disappointed there. You can see a shake of the head. He was hoping for it, but swung just a little too much and a little more than Adam could hold on that line. All right, so red here again. They're going to have the hammer this end. Calling for a draw shot to the side. Over to the 9 o'clock position. Brian Ewert looking to oblige the request of his skip. Calvin showing the sweepers the target area. Now they're both jumping and sweeping. It's going to slow down quite a bit out there. There's all 3 teammates in sweeping now. And that comes up just shy of the house. So an opportunity now for blue, the Albany rink, to get back into it here.
Stand 1 more
million to those 50s.
As we're into the first skip stone, Brett Sentiwany.
I want to jump on.
His favorite shot, he felt, is it was, you know, draw to the button. But looking at a takeout opportunity here,
If there's not, then I'm going to do the other one.
ideally a nose hit, so he sticks around. As he's got a 2-point lead here in the 7th end. Stone's on its way. Right away, Adam Weber again in with the sweeping duties. Trying to hold that line. Running a lot truer this time. Gets called off. Crosses into the house. He'll hit and roll out the shooter as well.
I'm good for now. Wait a little while.
So right now a clean house.
What is that?
As we're getting into the first skip stone here for the Weber rink. Again, Weber rink out of Potomac. Located midway between Baltimore and Washington, D.C. Down in, if I recall, Prince George's County. Gilad wearing a very, very noticeable jersey, similar to one that his brother had on one of his curling teams, and he said, "I really like the look of that jersey. Can you get me one?" So Gilad sporting that here this evening.
You know where Vancouver is? Yeah. You drive east about 3 hours and it's one of the it's a very hot valley.
Kelvin's first stone here in the 7th end.
So right now it's a lot of winery.
Looking for a draw, looking to put it off to the side.
Is an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Just a little bit too heavy, it looks like right now from my viewpoint. Sweepers staying off of it.
That's where my first son was born in Victoria.
And
Yeah, Victoria's awesome.
it's getting swept out by Stu Howells, and no, he can't quite get it out. It's sitting in the back at around the 11 o'clock position. And now no choice for the Albany skip but to call the takeout on that one. And a great strategy, as any curler will tell you, is to give up one and take two, and that right now is how it appears that Brett is playing this in the 7th end. Again, a 2-point lead.
I used to curl. I lived in Calgary for almost a year. That's what my daughter was for. It's different. It's different than British Columbia.
And the native of the Albany area. Final stone here in the 7th end. Looks like it is right on the money. And takes out and spills out, so still a clean house. And now question for the Potomac rink for Calvin Weber out of Madison, Wisconsin. Looks like he's trying to draw, try to get one. The other option, of course, would be to blank the end, although might be tempted to see if he can chip in that one guard. It's pretty close, and see if he can come out of it with two. Certainly does seem like it should be possible, although a bit of a tight angle on it.
I need to get my youngest son confidently skiing so I can take the boys back. Jacob will go in.
And it's on its way. Again, all he'll need to do with that guard, that's what he looks like he's doing. He just has to touch the house, the scoring circles, and it'll get an extra point. And it hits and rolls. It's tough to tell from the angle, but one is still biting, so Red comes away with one that end. So 6-5 here at the end of 7 ends with the Sentiwany rink out of Albany holding the advantage. No, I stand corrected. They're marking it as a blank end. I stand corrected. So blank end here in the 7th. The strategy there, I think they were looking to get 2. Didn't quite work out, so they will hold hammer. That is for the Weber rink as we go into the 8th end. No updates on the other sheets as they're all still winding up the 7th ends. So no further scoring updates.
Technical timeout.
Roger Becker again leading the way here, the Ravenna native. Located there on the south side of Albany. Not too far from the New York State Thruway peels off for the Mass Pike. I asked him how he got interested in curling, and very simply, well, I went to the club, they had a bar. Enough said. Certainly the bar adds to the camaraderie and the spirit of curling.
Oh, really?
A little bit of devotion, you can find yourself in the GNCC Playdowns. Playing in a nice tight game on a Thursday night. Nick Smith, another excellent first stone, comes in solid in the 4-foot, just to the edge of the button. Changes the strategy a bit here for the Albany rink, as Roger Becker will try to come up right to that Nick's first shot.
Oh, look at that.
Roger's shot starts into that big swing, but doesn't really have the legs to get too far into the house as it comes to rest just in the 12-foot. Nick Smith. Okay, this is his first Playdowns.
It all makes sense now. It looks exactly like you.
His second shot on its way. Running straight, but now begins that big swing.
He's obviously a little skinny.
It looks like it's slowing down quite a bit as both sweepers are really working on this, both Gilad and Brian. And they're able to bring it all the way in. Nice stone from Nick there. His wife and 5-year-old son Travis, I'm sure they're proud of that shot. I know 5-year-old Travis is also getting into curling, part of the junior program down there in Potomac. Great to see kids follow their parents and take up the sport of curling.
We brought some beers from Boston.
And now Adam Weber. We'll be looking to try to go through, take out, start clearing out some of these guards again. This is the 5th stone, but he can take out his own in the guard zone, so that does not violate the free guard zone. And with that, we move to the 6th stone here in Gilad. We'll probably try to put that guard right back up because even though it was a blue guard, it was certainly helping the red team. Calvin Weber calling for that guard.
Well, you guys are both remembering.
Again, the key to the win earlier today, they said, was making fewer errors in the second half. They also had a big 3-point end where they were down by 2, and that kind of swung the momentum as well. They're down by 2 again here in this game, and ends are starting to wind down. So a 3-point end is something certainly they would welcome at this point if they can string it together.
if you remember there, you don't get
And a bit
very good.
closer to the house than they were hoping for, as it is actually biting on the 12. And an easy call here for the Albany skip, looking for a takeout, clear out some guards in the front there. Actually, they are counting at this point, but again, for Adam Weber, that's his specialty, takeouts. Came out that one a little bit strong, got his body a little bit sideways, but looks like he made a good adjustment. And certainly he's going to take out one of the front guards, maybe take out the shooter, no, just moves it to the side. But takes it out from behind some of the protection of the guards. So nice shot there from Adam Weber.
Right on the court.
I'm about right here.
Gilad probably be called upon to put up another guard.
And then he did.
What I did earlier was I took one
And
out when I went out to the lunch, so I could read the menu of this one.
not sure of the call myself. Gilad asked for a bit of explanation. And I guess looking to do a takeout and do a roll of the existing redstone. Be a bit of a complicated shot, but
Rochester.
they're up for the challenge here. Now the swing comes in, single sweeping run off the top guard. Oh, a near disaster as it took out the blue guard, came in and hit the shot stone, and now we got the shot stone sitting very vulnerable. And the call for the takeout here from Stu Howells. I asked Stu, I said, do you have any famous relatives? And his answer was, yeah, I got some cousins that own the Brook Barbecue down in Oneonta. I guess a great place to stop if you're in the Oneonta area, and tell them, hey, we saw your cousin curling on TV. And the line comes in, takes out the shot rock, but spills out the shooter as well.
Right.
So here in the 8th end, as we're midway through vice stones, 2 stones in the house and a couple of guards up front, but they're well off to the side, really not providing any protection for any of the stones. As Brian Ewert's first shot here in the 8th end. Gilad and Nick both sweeping all the way on this one. And it looks like it's going to come in, just hit the blue stone, which is not what they were looking for. Rolls in, so it is a biter. None of the stones in the 8-foot, and all of them right at the edge of the 12. The call for Stu Howells. Second shot is to draw in behind the guards. Provide some good protection up there.
You gotta make your own, but you're still gonna use it.
Super's being told to wait. Waiting for that line and the swing to develop. Now they're jumping in, a little rush. Really tight getting by. Beautiful stone from Stu. Now come to rest here in the back 8-foot. So beautiful shot by Stu on that one. Calvin Weber, he's got to be thinking about clearing out some of these guards up front. Trying to look at what the line is, see if he can pop out the blue stone, I'm sure, to get a double. Very, very narrow port, but that's what he's looking at. See if we can clear him out. Second option is to try to draw in, I guess, on top of the shot that Stu just made. Now going back to the original call, trying to clear out some of the guards, some of the protections for the blue shot rock. Right now, blue is sitting 2, and they already have a 2-point lead, so Calvin's going to want to be careful of how much he allows Blue to be hanging around here. Nice low release here from Brian. Sweepers coming along with the stone. Now they're coming in doing a little brushing on it. And it's going to clear up the red stones is all that's going to do. Not a terrible result. You opened up, cleared up some things in the front. I'll see what Sentiwany rink does here. There's Stu and Brett having some discussions.
And I don't know if it does that, but I had at least 2 or 3 catching fire. Yeah, these fire? Yeah, when they break.
Looking at probably doing a center line guard. I don't think they're looking to try to take out the red unless they're concerned about a promote opportunity. Again, so right now they're sitting with a 2-point lead here in the 8th end. And quick update here on the other sheets. Over on sheet D, the Messing ring out of Schenectady scored 1 in the 7th end. So they're down 4-3 now to Simia out of Nutmeg. And over on sheet A big 3-point end was scored by the Calabrese rink out of Rochester as they pulled to within 1 also. And they're down 6-5 as they're in the 8th end. Here on C, takeout shot of the blue of the red, and a beautiful takeout and a roll to go over and protect on the center line. So making it very, very tough here for red at the Calvin Weber rink to get rid of that blue stone. Big opportunity here now for blue if they can hang on. Right now sitting 3, but Weber still has both of his skip stones. Looks like the takeout call. Try to get the double if they can, of course. You have 4 stones that are in the house, only one of them is red. You'd like to swing those numbers around. All right, coming in. The sweeper's catching up. Now Nick Smith coming in doing a quick sweeping and takes out the blue stone in the front, but misses the opportunity to take out the shot stone.
Everything was becoming super nice.
So blue right now from this vantage point looks like they're still sitting 2. As they're down to their final stone. Red still has 1 more. Again, they hold the hammer. Held it over from the 6th end with a blank end in the 7th. Call looks like we're looking for a draw to the side. Albany looking to keep the heat on to Potomac here in the 8th end. All these games are being kept, are being timed, and looking over at the clock is about a little over 9 minutes remaining on the blue. Red still has a little over 11 minutes. Neither team in any kind of concern here of running out of time. As blue's final stone is then coming down. Looking to be another guard. To come up and hit the blue stone, which isn't a bad thing. Pops it forward a few more inches. So blue right now sitting 2, red sitting 3rd. Another blue stone just outside of the house, but providing some level of guarding. And critical shot coming up here for Calvin Weber, as if they come up short, the possibility of giving up 2 points and be a 4-point lead then for Sentiwany. So clutch shot coming up here for Calvin Weber.
tough neighbor. Drive right through. Go right to the brewery.
Got into the sport because of a friend from high school back out there in Madison, Wisconsin.
Late night restaurant.
Been curling for 12 years now. A big shot right here.
I don't know. Not much action.
Nice smooth release.
You can never get in.
Sweepers both jump in. It's swinging fast. Might be a little faster than they were expecting. Have a tough time getting by the red guard up front. And just does clear. Now comes in on the blue in the back. And with the roll, looks like one red. So big shot there from Calvin. That was a 3-point swing. As the Weber rink takes one here in the 8th end. And now trailed by one, 6-5, with 2 ends remaining. So great shot there by Calvin Weber. Bit of a celebration by the Potomac Sweepers. They're going to take a good portion of their 1-minute break in here between ends. And looking at the time, it's just over 10 minutes for Weber and just over 9 minutes for Sentiwany. So again, no real great concerns for running out of time. Clock management is part of the game at this level of play. And Nick Smith delivers the first stone here of the 9th end. Again, this is the second game for each of these teams. Each team coming into this game winning their opener, 1-0 record. It's a round robin here in pool play, a pool A, a pool B. Playoffs will be over on Sunday. And Nick with a beautiful stone just outside the house, just off the center line. And great stone to kick things off here in the 9th end. All right, Roger Becker for Team Albany. Looking to put up a corner guard. Both sweepers jump on this one early, concerned about the weight.
For 6 years, I didn't go to football.
Still sweeping all the way across the hog line. And that'll come to rest in the second zone, in the guards. Not a bad stone, off to the side. They're looking for an aggressive play here, looking to get some offense going. Don't feel real comfortable, I guess, with a 1-point lead, and I agree. Still 2 ends to play. Is Nick Smith's second stone. We've seen this strategy before, looking to draw behind his first stone. And he has delivered a couple of beauties this way earlier. And this one right now might be coming up a bit light. But not a bad guard. It's something to work with. They can promote it in later. Haven't seen the scores hung for the 8th ends yet on sheets A or D. I'll update you with those once I see them hung. Again, the game on sheet B wrapped up early. As Broomstones was able to defeat Rochester. Broomstones goes to 2-0. Rochester Andrews rink drops to 0-2. It was the Guzman rink for Broomstones. And Roger Becker's second stone for blue. Comes in, biting the 8-foot, but sitting there as a target for Gilad Kapanik. Using the full German pronunciation. Most Americans probably would say Kapanich. And just a bit narrow on this one. However, may catch on the far side of it and get a bonus and not do the takeout. Not the way it was designed, but Gilad shaking his head, a little frustrated, but the end result wasn't bad. And now an opportunity again here for Adam Weber. First time these teams have ever played each other. And both teams came in not really knowing what to expect of their opponent in this game. And Adam with a takeout, bit of a roll to the right-hand side, and protected behind the guard. So a beautiful shot there with the hit and roll takeout. Super is giving him a little acknowledgement.
But that's all she wants.
And Gilad now with his second shot here in the ninth end.
It's on this other side.
Looking for a draw into the house. Free guard zone, we're through that already, so all stones are fair game at this point. Sweepers haven't jumped on this one yet. Watching the line, watching the weight. Looks a bit heavy. Again, always tough to go from a takeout to a draw. And that one will roll through the house, and Gilad's kind of shaking his head a bit after that one. Tough call for curlers to go from a takeout to a draw. You gotta kind of roll yourself down. You just had the big adrenaline rush of doing a takeout, and you gotta come back in, keep yourself poised. Similar to biathlon, after doing a circuit or two of cross-country skiing, to roll yourself down, get the focus again to pull the trigger on the shooting portion of it. Very similar with curlers. Nice promote there for the takeout and the roll of the by Sentiwany, but unfortunately it wasn't what the call was that they wanted. That was kind of a miss, but certainly fortuitous for the Calvin Weber rink, and they'll try to capitalize on this. Lost track of who was making that shot initially.
That wasn't crazy.
And Brian Ewert looking to put up a guard here for the Potomac rink. And it's going to swing past, I believe, their front shot stone. Or maybe just catch an edge of it. And sets the shot rock into a very, very vulnerable position. However, the second stone behind a little bit of protection as a high guard, just barely in shot at the bottom of the screen. And Stu Howells here looking to do a takeout. Right away, Adam Weber is on it, but quickly called off. And now the question is, can they direct where they want to have the roll go? And it's just going to be rolls to the outside. Most of that'll stick around, but I think from my vantage point, it looks like it's sitting second right now. Shot stone is still the red stone down kind of in the 6 o'clock position as Brian Ewert gets ready to put up a little protection on that stone.
Yeah, they get from the top row of the world come and run and get pretty good prize money. When you finish up, you finish up with the brewery, you get a beer.
Brian Stone, a little lighter than they wanted. It's getting a little bit more swing than they were expecting. Kind of opened up the guard from the front of that, and left their front red stone very vulnerable. So an opportunity here now for Brett Sentiwany and Team Albany, as they're going to be looking to do a takeout here. Stu Howells got this one lined up in his sights. not developing the swing that they were expecting. Just clears the front guard. They'll do a takeout, but it may also knock out their second stone on the side. It does. Unfortunate turn of events. However, the shooter now sticks around, so really no harm, no foul.
It might be the pitcher, but
All right, so quick update here on sheet D. Score as they're in the 9th end now is Simia took 1 in the 8th end. So they regain their 2-point lead over Messing of Schenectady.
We're not even off the ice at this point. Oh, guess what? We got
And still don't see a score hung over on sheet A. And again, when I get an update over there, I will pass that along to you all. And just here on sheet C, we're in the 9th end. And we're into Skip Stone's Calvin Weber, his first stone. Looking to try to draw behind some of the protection here. Looks like it has a little bit more speed than I think he wanted. And that's going to be well into the back of the house. And finally comes to rest just as it's going into the 12-foot. Certainly in an area that could be drawn up to by the blue Albany rink led by Brett Sentiwany. And don't see any score hung for the 8th end over on sheet A. So I know that they're in the 9th end. But nothing indicating the result of the 8th end.
And when they leave it, the first thing they do is clean all the dust out of it.
Brett Sentiwany.
I mean, dishes would go through the kiln when they shut everything down, so all the dishes are still on the
Halfway through.
Did part of his education at Hudson Valley Community College. I can relate to that. Went to Monroe Community College. Great way to save some money and get a really good start on a collegiate education. And now he's going for his first stone here in the 9th end. Looking at a takeout of the red. Line looks like it took a jump there. I don't know if it hit something or what, but it did a huge jump. Picked up some debris in the ice. And they might be able to salvage a promote here of the one of their front stones, but it definitely caught something. The sweepers never had a chance to jump in and prevent that from happening. But right now it looks like blue sitting 1 and 3, and red with a single as they're coming up to their final stone here, the Weber rink. And final stone in the 9th end. Opportunity maybe for a double takeout of blue. And looks like they may be looking into that possibility, or maybe just come up and bump it back a little bit. Again, Weber down by 1.
Wow.
yeah. And look what happened.
Yeah, well, guess what?
Gilad picked up some debris on the ice here, trying to make sure that they have a nice clean path for their stone.
She showed up after the 3rd half.
Wait, I don't think that Mark Andrews.
And here we go. Final shot for Calvin Weber in the 9th end.
You can't make me say that to everyone.
Yes, I can.
Take out late. And looks like he's going to have some problems getting by his front guard. It is going to just clip that. And ping-ponging in is a stone. Now the one stone there just outside the house, I believe that one hit the wall. So that one will be coming out of play. And it is being kicked out. But the other red stone, didn't see that coming as it gets promoted in from the side. So a bit of discussion as to where stones were, and now Brett and Stu from Albany getting down to business of what do they do about those two red stones on the right-hand side, and can they capitalize here and come up with a big 2 or 3 point end.
It's quite different than the lobby.
But that one, we had to do it. And we won.
We should have I thought it was amazing. Were you there? No,
I got beers, but I just...
All right, final stone, 9th end. Again, scheduled 10 end game. But depending on the outcome here, this may speed things up on the whether we play a 10th end or not. Second of several games here this weekend in Rochester. Game scheduled for Friday and Saturday is our final stone of the 9th end. Coming down, looking for the double takeout, swinging into position, just some light sweeping by the sweepers. Take out the front stone and not able to stick around. So just a 1 point end for blue. So now heading into the 10th end, we got ourselves a 2 point game, and don't go anywhere. This could get pretty exciting here. So Sentiwany has 2 point lead. However, Weber will have the hammer.
The guy on the other end was probably like flagging me. I didn't see it.
All right, an update finally from sheet A. In the 8th end, Calabrese took one to tie it up so that it was tied at 6. And then in the 9th end, War came right back and took one on their own. So it's a 1 point game going into the 10th end. War ahead by 1, but Calabrese with the hammer. So I'll try to keep folks up to date on that one. Over on sheet D, still just 1 stone still to go. The hammer here in the 9th end on D. And right now, it looks like red is sitting 1, blue with the hammer, and I'll update you as soon as that shot comes to completion over here on sheet D. Meanwhile, here on sheet C, we got Nick Smith getting ready for his final, for his first stone here of the final end, or final scheduled end. As Roger Becker, he had his first stone come into the house. Maybe a ploy to see if they can get Weber to come in and do a takeout game, but Calvin Weber, he knows he needs stones in play, so make sure that his first shot is in the guard. And Roger Becker's second shot here of the 9th end, or 10th end, I'm sorry. As I'm watching the final shot of the 9th end over on D. And Roger Becker's shot coming in a little bit hot. I think that one's going to end up sailing through the house, or at least into the back of the house.
Oh, yeah. She was at that one.
And nobody interested in sweeping that one out as it goes out of play all on its own. So over on sheet D, 2 point steal, actually, for Simia out of Nutmeg. And as they head into the 10th end, it is a 7-3 lead for Simia over Messing. Messing again out of Schenectady. Simia coming into that one with winning their opener, and Messing falling in their opener. So with a 4 point edge in the 10th end, it looking for a bit of a miracle here for Schenectady, as Nutmeg will have their first shot. They're calling it right through. Here on sheet C, second shot from Nick Smith, another guard up front right on the center line. very, very high guard. That'll be a tough one to promote in later, but still a shot in play, and it may come in useful as the stones begin to accumulate.
Yeah, it was better than the other place we had. What was it? The arrow cord?
Adam Weber now with his first shot here in the 10th end.
Here they go. Yeah. That was actually okay. Is that like a gravy? Was it orange?
And this one looks like it has a real good opportunity to come into the house.
At least they had actual cheese.
Sweepers were on it early, I think, trying to just protect the line.
There was no cheese. They got it with
Makes it past the high guard. Going to make it past the low guard, and that's slowing down beautifully. Should come to rest right on the button, and it does. So we got a first stone really kind of toying here for the blue Sentiwany rink, and Calvin Weber needs to figure out a way to come away with 2 in this end. Again, he has the hammer, but blue already with 2 stones in the house, one pretty well guarded. Gilad's first shot here in the 10th, following a very, very similar path to Adam's last shot. Sweepers waiting for instructions. Now Brian jumps in, starts sweeping. He's going to just catch the edge. No, actually, it was sweeping right by, so it didn't chip over the one blue stone there behind guards. Keep it out in a more vulnerable position, although Skip Calvin Weber looking a little worried here, as stones are starting to dwindle down.
That was a little early when I was in college.
Now Adam Weber's second shot. Again, 10th end of a scheduled 10-end game.
I've only heard about routines when my wife and I went to Ottawa to the Winterfest once and we went to the restaurant.
Tomorrow night at 8 o'clock right here on Sheet C, we'll see the same Sentiwany rink. They'll be up against Simia. They'll again hold a 4-point edge here in the 10th end. As blue added another stone into the house. And Gilad will be looking to do a takeout here. Again, 17 years of curling. This is his first play down. The former Maryland Terrapin. Final stone coming in. Being very carefully watched by the sweepers. Now Brian Ewert jumps on for sweeping. It's going to clear the high guard, no problem there. And it looks like they're trying to line it up on the first stone, trying to maybe to get a little bit more action, but not a bad result. Comes to rest behind some guards, sitting third solidly in the 8-foot, so a nice result. Not quite what I think Gilad was looking for on that one, but not a bad result. All right, first vice stone here, going to be delivered by Stu Howell.
There's absolutely no recipe to this. Like the beef got into a grinder, they made powder with it, and then you dissolve the powder with fat.
Stone looks really nice. Running straight, but right now she's beginning to go into a dive, and it does. Clears the high guard, no problem. And that's coming in. It's making a beeline for that red stone. Comes in just cleared. It was beautiful. Clutch shot made there by Stu Howells. And Calvin Weber starting to get into some desperation here, as down to the final 4 stones, down by 2. Again, he has a hammer, but blue sitting 3. Not a lot in the way of guards. There's one that's a very high guard, protects a little bit of the inside line, but nothing on the outside. And here comes Brian Ewert's first shot. Sweepers getting called on, looking for some hard sweeping calls. Catches the high stone. The question is, what else can he pick up? It just brushes off the shot stone. So Blue still sitting 2 solidly in the 4-foot. Question now of guarding, and they're calling for a timeout. So this is the first timeout we've used in the game. Team's coming down here, so we got a 1-minute timeout.
Again, just remember to put that on your OGR.
Yep. Quick discussion about what to do. And remember, this is a team that they said that they thought that the first game was the communication. The key to the winning was communication on the weight and touchy draws and everything. So again, communication very key to this team.
That's only what I do to Mark.
Make sure everybody's on the same page here, making sure everybody understands what the call is, what the expected result is. Meanwhile, the Weber rink, they're all huddled just over the hog line, having a discussion of their own, a lot of broom pointing. We got again, it's a 1-minute timeout. They're down to 35 seconds left in the discussion.
I would have only said, woo-hoo. Yeah, that's what we should have done.
Discussing it, where the hits come in, where stones will go, what the resulting peels will be. Down to their final 15 seconds here of their timeout.
Not really, but
Weber rink starting to head back in their respective spots. And down to 5 seconds. They're taking a full minute. 3, 2, 1. The timeout is over. Now it's back to just thinking time. That's being charged to them. Still not a problem though, as they're just under 4 minutes now left. Only 3 stones left to deliver, so no sense of urgency yet. As we're looking at the final vice stone here in this game. And coming up on 3.5 minutes as the vice is now finally getting set. The decision's been made and the shot is on its way. So looking at, looks like a light takeout. Now some heavy sweeping from Adam Weber as he's looking to come in. Looks like it's going to be a light hit and a bit of a roll towards the 4-foot and a beautiful shot. Another great shot by the Sentiwany rink out of Albany. So definitely the pressure is on Calvin Weber and his teammates from Potomac.
this is probably the first Thursday I've not asked you how curling was.
And Brian Ewert. Stone is on his way. Still plenty of time for both rinks. The Weber rink has 4.5 minutes on the clock. All right, now some sweeping in from Nick Smith. He's looking to try to do a double takeout here, trying to line up the stones, and not quite. Takes out the one that was just played. But again, it's going to be kind of desperation here. Calvin needs to figure out a way to get those 2 out of the 4-foot. Bit of a discussion going on here between Brett and Stu. Skip and the vice respectively for Albany. Quick decision being made. Still plenty of time as he's heading down the ice, getting ready to take a shot. A little over 2.5 minutes remaining as they're shaking over on sheet D. Simia comes away with the big win. So they will improve to 2-0. Messing falls to 0-2. Again, Simia tomorrow night right here on sheet C, facing Sentiwany, battle of Nutmeg against Albany. And Brent's shot coming in very nicely, past the high guard, no problem there. Now just looking for a little bit of finesse here at the very end. Clears the close red card and 3 in the 4 foot. This is going to be really tough for the Weber rink. Come up with a magic answer here. "20 years of curling experience between Brian and Calvin, the vice and the skip for Potomac." We still have 4 minutes of time, plenty of time on the clock. And they still have their timeout eligible as well. So lots of time to try to come up with a magic answer here, but where the real problem is they're running out of stones. They got 2 stones left. Sentiwany down to final skip stone. And I don't really see a breath of a sigh of relief for it yet for Sentiwany. As it is not a lock here. Again, they do have a 2-point lead, as you see on the scoreboard. Calvin Weber, they're sitting stones 4, 5, and 6. 1, 2, 3, and 7 for Sentiwany. Of course, only the first 3 count. And Calvin Weber's shot, as they still have 3 minutes exactly on the board. Clears the high guard, no problems there. Now it's going to get interesting. This comes in with a little bit of a hit. Clears out 2 of the blue stones from the center. Also cleared out 1 of their red stones from up high. But now a big question of what does Albany do? Meanwhile, over on sheet A, crowd is gathered around as is a 1-point game. The hometown favorite Joe Calabrese down by 1, sitting 1 in the house right now. And from my angle, I can't tell if this is, looks like maybe hammer shot. All he has to do is draw for the win. I think you'll know what the result of that will be. There might be a rousing cheer from the very loyal and biased Rochester crowd here in the Rochester Curling Club. As the discussions continue here on sheet C, still have 1 minute and 10 seconds of time left as skip Brent Sentiwany heads down the ice. And it'll be just about a minute as he gets to the hack there.
Did they get the 3?
And Joe Calabrese makes the draw, comes away with a 2-point win, or 2 points in the 10th end for the win. So Rochester Calabrese goes to 2-0. War from Schenectady falls to 1-1. And here in sheet C, critical shot from Brent Sentiwany as he is able to draw it right in to the 4-foot. And now Calvin Weber has got to figure out a way to get both those stones out. If he can do that, he can come away with either tie or a win. If he can figure out a way to have, the way they're discussing right now, they're looking at bouncing off one of theirs. As there's 2 minutes and 40 seconds left, there's still plenty of time. And again, they still have their timeout available to them. There's a lot of discussion going on out there. Hammer shot, down by 2. Blue is sitting 2. Red is sitting 3rd and 4th. Just question of where exactly to hit off one of their existing stones. It appears a decision has been reached as Nick and Gilad, the sweepers for the final shot, head down the ice. Calvin has already hit the far house. And Brian very carefully holding that broom very, very still as it's a precision shot of what they're looking for here. So great finish here on sheet C. I'm glad you've been following along at home as it all comes down to this final shot from Skip Calvin Weber out of Madison, Wisconsin. Here it is. It's on its way. Definitely got nice line. Sweepers have been called off. Now Nick Smith comes in, gives a quick brush. A little bit on the outside. I think it hung a little wide. And Brett Sentiwany survives here on sheet C on Thursday night. Comes away with a 9-5 win over the Weber rink out of Potomac. So again, tomorrow night, 8 o'clock right here on the same sheet C, we'll see Sentiwany back here up against Simia. It'll be a good battle. The way things are shaping up, they have a couple more games earlier in the day tomorrow. So the standings may change, but a big, big win for Sentiwany and the Albany rink. As again, they move to 2-0, and Weber falls to 1-1. That wraps up our TESN broadcast from here in the Rochester Curling Club. I hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast, and I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow night, 8 o'clock, right here again on TESN.us. Again, thanks for watching, and have a golden night.
Thank